Hello and welcome back to another Space Engineers showcase video. In today's video, I'm once again taking a look at one of your designs that you have linked me in the comment section of one of my videos. And if you wish to see something of yours shown on this channel, just leave me the Steam Workshop link somewhere and I'll eventually get around to it. But for today, we're looking at another dropship. And this one is called the Lock-Mart purpose-built drop vessel, which is this lovely thing right here. So this is a fairly large ship featuring a impressive interior along with a small little land vehicle deploy bay that we can just see on the side there. We've got angled thrusters thanks to the hinge blocks, and we do have some sound effects from the Alien franchise. Pressing F10 and finding the Lock-Mart in the spawn menu, there it is. This thing is 2,892 large blocks, featuring pretty much all the DLC packs. We got the decorative block number 1 and number 2, the Frostbite, the Sparks of the Future, and the Wasteland. The only thing we are missing is the Economy Deluxe, as far as I can remember. Yes, and that is that. We've got a bit of information about the ship on here, and what it can do and all that. So we'll just give this a little thumbs up, and then come around to the very front and have a quick look around the outside. So all the way over to here and putting my light on, this is what we get. We've got a bunch of dark grey and light grey steel blocks that go all the way around this ship. We've got two little red interior lights there just to add a bit of decoration, and we can see an ore detector and antenna there, just in case you want to go find some resource patches while you're out and about. As we move all the way around the side here, we're going to see the first of a few thruster pods which have been angled via our hinge blocks and simply have some rounded blocks right next to them. These come all the way down over to here where we've got some unfinished desk blocks, or at least I think they're the kitchen corner tables. Come over to some hydrogen thrusters, which is the only form of thrust that appear on this ship. And this is how it's been done all the way around for the remaining three. If I just come all the way back up to here and turn off my light, we do have another glowing red light on the side there with a piston head for some more additional decoration. A doorway to get in and out of our passenger bay and of course our cockpit, along with a little merge block just in case you need it. Moving along the side here, we're going to come to our hangar bay, which will be opened up via this ramp. Come all the way around to here, we do have a gate block just inside here, and this is what we get on the interior. So we can fit a fairly small land vehicle or even a fairly small fighter to deploy out and go and fight whatever's coming towards you, or even just to send your rover out and go and explore a new planet that you've discovered. We'll come back to that a bit later. So yes, that'll just fold down, allow you to ride out. Then over to here, we've got some more steel blocks, and we can peer inside at our interior thanks to this half block. As we continue along, we've got another little thruster pod there, once again on a hinge, and we've got some nice use of the letter blocks, saying 02 with a little arrow, along with a corner interior light, once again in the red. As we come all the way around to the back here, this is what's going to push us along. Two large hydrogen thrusters just sticking out the back, and we can see an air vent which has also been angled via hinge just to suck in any kind of oxygen and refill your tanks. If we were to come up and above past our thrusters, we have a small little landing hook bay where we get a small ship to load and unload goods. Maybe you want to drag along a jump drive attachment or a small fighter, or even just to dock this ship up back at a base. We have a camera there to help dock this up, which is always nice, and we can see some more hydrogen thrusters to help us move down in space. As we continue along to the front, we've got some parachute hatches just in case things go horribly wrong while entering a planet. Some more bits of detail there with some piston heads, and then moving all the way over to here, we then got these funny little spotlights which are on rotors, and there's small block grids. Yes, they have two spotlights on each side, and we can, if we want to, rotate them around and create a little disco party. Coming all the way down and underneath this thing, past our ore detector, right below here, this is how we're going to land down onto the ground. Another ship that doesn't use the traditional landing gear. We instead have our wheel suspension with no wheel attached onto them, and we'll use this just to touch down onto the ground. Yes, as we move all the way along to the back there, we can see part of our gate with a button there just in case we want to press it. Then towards the back there, not too much else to talk about, and there is the air vent. So with that all done and out of the way, that's a very brief around the outside of this ship. And now it's time to take control of my character and head on inside, which is where this thing gets very impressive. So coming all the way over to this doorway, we will open it up, and we do have an airlock script active, so we cannot open this door until that one closes up. So there we go. Now we walk along into here, I'll just put my light on because it is quite dark. This is what we get. So we've got two pilot seats which do the exact same thing. We've got some LCD screen displays everywhere with some fancy images on them. So coming over to this part right here, this is where we're going to sit down our crew members and whoever's coming along with us. Each of the chairs have been labelled by some LCD screens behind them, and we've got some great use of our barred window blocks acting as little vents. Yes, we just sit down in one of our chairs and look around. This is what we get. Some nice red lighting, some nice white lighting, and we can see almost clearly out the front. But how do we get our seatbelts to deploy? Well, if we come over to this button right here and press it, they'll fold all the way down to the point that if I get into the chair, bring the free camera over, this is what it looks like. So it just holds our arms in place, make sure we don't get up and walk around when we're not supposed to. Yes, coming out of there and walking towards the front, this is our cockpit, which I'll come back to in a minute. But we've got some LCD screens with some nice little displays on them. And we've got some more great use of the barred window blocks, just holding up behind our cockpit chairs. Walking around over to here, we've got some stairs that lead down further into the ship. So this is a fairly large ship with its interior. Yes, we come over to this little junction right here. We've got a doorway that will lead over to a reactor bay where we can just load in uranium if we want to do it manually. In here, it's going to be our hangar bay or our vehicle bay. If I put my light on, there we go. We've got some steps coming all the way down to here. We can access our vehicle. We've got a small locker to store a few bits and bobs inside. And it does come along with a bit of uranium, just in case we need it in our vehicle. And we've got our hangar gates right there. Walking all the way up to here, our button panel, we've got options to pressurize and depressurize, to lock the door and to emergency decompress. Let's go and decompress this. We'll get some alarm sounds going off. It'll start blinking reds. The ramp will fold down, the door will open up, and we'll be able to get outside. If I was to come all the way back up to here and press the first one to pressurize, the alarms will go off once again. We'll close up the doors, lift up the ramp, and we'll be good to go. Number 3 is simply a lock or unlock for the door. 4 is our emergency decompression where we need to get out in an instant, so it'll just open things up without a delay. And there we go. We'll just open that up like so, come back through these doors, and continue all the way around. So walking down this really long corridor, we've got some windows appear inside our airlock, which has not closed up. Let's just see if we can fix that up. There we go, that should work. It's coming back to where I was. We've got our window to peer inside, walking all the way along here, which is one of the few very lit places in the ship. We'll continue along all the way over to here. We've got a small little toilet block to go if you need to. And then into here, we've got our medical bay. We've got a bed to put your patient on, a small desk to do your paperwork, a little bay to store all our equipment, and a survival kit right behind it, just in case you need to heal yourself up and respawn. Looking around this room, this is what we get. And there's the window we saw earlier. Yes, that is a very brief interior look at what's going on here. There's not too much else to talk about. We can just come all the way to the front and then get into our cockpit chair. But I will just very quickly open up this doorway with the little commands. We come over to here, open that up, open the door, and there is our nuclear reactor to dump stuff inside. Or I don't know why I just tried to put a gun in there, but you get the idea. Walking all the way back up to here, these chairs are identical and they both contain a remote control block. So we'll come over to this one first of all, press that, we've got some controls for our thrusters and whatnot. All the way over to the opposite side, once again some controls for our thrusters. So coming into third person view and pressing number 1, that's going to turn on our hydrogen thrusters all the way around the ship. Number 2, number 3 is for our thruster override to essentially have our cruise control. We press number 2 to move forwards, and we press number 3 to slow ourselves down. Number 4 is for our nuclear reactor on and off if we have the uranium to use it, and number 5 is for our batteries to auto or recharge. 6 for our antenna on and off, 7 for our beacon on and off, 8 for our ore detector, number 9 is for our parachute hatches manually opening and closing them. For tab number 2 we then got controls for our camera, which is sitting right there to appear all the way up, and then on and off for our merge blocks next to it. Tab number 3, 4 and 5 is empty, so it's time to fly this thing around. So going forwards in space, this is what we get. We got a nice lot of speed moving forwards thanks to those large hydrogen thrusters. Stopping is a lot slower to the point that you may want to do a 180, but that could be a bit difficult because this ship is very heavy to move around. Moving left, And then moving right, we've got some slow speed with that, but that is because we're using our left and right on those angled thrusters. Moving down, we're going to be a lot slower because we've got 2 thrusters to help us out with that. And then moving up, we should have a nice lot of speed thanks to all of them. Wheeling my mouse around, like I said, there is one hell of a lot of weight on here. This is a very heavy ship to move around, and we're not going to be doing any kind of fancy maneuvering with this. You may even want to slap on an extra gyroscope if it's not up to your standards, but yes, it does kind of suit this type of ship and what it's going to be used for. If I come all the way over to the Mars-like planet and bring ourselves into the atmosphere and drop ourselves down, we'll test out the actual drop pod capability. So all the way over to here, let's just start off, let's just go like this, shall we? There we go, we're now in the Mars-like planet's atmosphere. We're going to start falling down by turning off that. And we're going to start gaining some speed. So we're going to come through all the way to the ground and get close with it, then deploy our parachutes. So here we go. Getting closer. We're going to press number 1 to start slowing ourselves down. Pressing number 9 to deploy our parachutes. They're now open, so when we get close enough, hopefully they'll pop out themselves. And then we should be all good. Hopefully they'll deploy. I'm kind of putting a lot of faith into them because we're not going to be slowing down. Well, we might slow down in time, but I don't think we will. Well, it looks like we are going to stop in time and we won't need those parachute hatches right there. So we're just going to speed ourselves up and go a bit closer. Maybe they'll deploy. I don't think there's anything in them. That could just be the problem with that. No parachute hatches or no canvas inside them, but we're good enough to come to a stop when we get close to the ground. Yes, we just come in and drop ourselves down. That's going to be quite a heavy landing. There we go. Turn off our thrusters, come out of the chair. Now we can walk all the way around to our hangar bay. Open up the doorway. And we'll be good to go. And there we are. We are now on Mars. We can deploy our small vehicle and be on our way. But yes, that is that for the Lock-Mart purpose-built drop vessel. It's a very nice little thing to play around, and now it's quite a loud bang without deploying. Yes, as I was saying, it's a very nice ship to play around with. It's got a great little interior, and you could get a lot of fun out of this. So if you do wish to play around with it yourself, there'll be a link to it in the description below, and I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.